right then. Good morning. How are you doing? I hope you are having a better day than some politicians. And of course, a better day than Arsenal next week after they realize that Manchester United is going to be top 4. Anyway, it's okay. Shatta ushaanza kuniangalia vibaya. So acha niwaachie hiyo story hapo. Shatta has by there ever since, I don't know, Shatta is my friend until anaanza kuongea mambo ya Arsenali. That's where, see, we always talk about boundaries on this show. That's where we draw the line. That's where we draw the line. All right, Roberta, welcome.
Thank you so much. At least mko na boundaries.
Yeah.
Na mnazi
tunazijua, si ndio?
Yeah, it's better than kutokuwa na kuko kwa bloodline.
Yes, sir.
But tusije akiongea, we go to one side. He brings in Liverpool, now we just have like,
yeah, sisi wote sasa tuko side moja.
Mimi niko amazing.
Yes.
Niko natafuta word ya shine but imenipotea, but niko
Uko Riang.
Uko
Aitab.
Niko Aitab.
Uko Nifi. Uko fresh. Uko
BA.
very good. Kabisa. Shaz, you doing well?
I am super.
Yeah, it's good to see you. Welcome back.
Sante.
Yeah.
Yeah, anataka maji.
Anataka maji.
yeah man,
Tapewa maji.
ya uzima.
Ya uzima.
Yes.
Nipe maji.
Ni? Maji ya uzima.
Maji ya uzima. Ndio hiyo, ukitaka pia CJ is also here.
Yeah,
Don't
man.
go so far.
Yes.
CJ, how you doing?
Good.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Very
I'm
good.
here.
Good. Yeah. We are glad to have you here.
Right,
So
right.
today I want to talk about
Aya.
Didn't introduce Shadow.
Aya. Aya. Oneni mtu. Aya.
okay, so today I want to talk about
Iko Riang.
Shatta boy, how you doing?
Amu lifting man. Upende usipende tuko top 4.
Muko sawa?
Yes, mutalia sana.
At the end of the show tutafanya our shameless plug where you can see us see the banter. I call it banter, but Shatta bickers. So it's banter and bickering.
Becomes madness.
Yes, sir. All right. So do you want to talk about another form of madness, and that happens in relationships where there are some bloodlines and you do not know either what stage, you know, like the joke that goes around in Nairobi is if you're meeting somebody for the first time and you're going out on a date, you need to ask them, are you in a relationship? They'll say no or yes. And then if they say no, then the next question is there somebody out there who thinks they're in a relationship with you? So that is because it's not clearly defined. The question is always, and mostly wanasema for the girl child, no one wanauliza, what are we? And then there is silence on the other side.
We're children of the Lord.
We are mammals, children of the Lord, Homo sapiens, and all of this. So let's start with Shatta boy.
Aya.
Yeah, man. So Shatta boy.
Yeah man.
Bono unadhani there is that failure to kind of define the relationship, and so therefore mko tu in bloodlines. Unadhani uko sawa, kesho unasikia you went on a date. Oh yeah, I went on a date. We are just dating. It's not a relationship. It's just dating. Yeah. So
I think it's fear. It's fear of the unknown. And again, you also fear losing this person, that you might decide, let's get into a relationship, and then it does not work. You lose the friendship that you had. Or another thing also, it could be that you're benefiting from this person, but you do not want to commit. Because probably there are other people also you want to see. So you leave your options open. Unaget? But I think it should be a relationship on its own. You see, the biggest problem we have is that we box ourselves into a system that we found, that this is a relationship. This is how a relationship looks like. But things have evolved in this life. Things are changing. I also believe relationships also should be redefined. That one on its own is a relationship. It needs a name. Or people just need to know there's a relationship type that looks like this. The way nowadays we have open relationships and everything like that. The only thing that should be blur, or actually not blur, the gray areas in your life that you don't know what this is, it is the gray matter in your brain. That is the only gray that should be in your life.
Right.
Ama nguo unavaa. But in a relationship wise, Be sure of what you are. Hakuna ati unafikiriaga tunaweza kuwa na date na mtu ama tu date na mtu. Hiyo ni kujiingiza. Na ni uoga tu uko nayo. Kubali yaishe. Ambiwa asikudate. Kwa ukijua mimi tu date na umse. Otherwise you will let go of potential suitors over there thinking you're in a relationship here. Kumbe you're dating yourself.
Right.
Yeah, man.
It's a tough thing.
Yeah, man.
Roberto, why do you think there is that? How much do you give you time to shut up? How much do
Nimefanya introspection in those 3 seconds.
Yeah. You've done some internal work as Shata was talking.
Nimejiuliza maswali.
Yes. So, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
All right then.
We may proceed.
Okay. Cool. So, same question. Why do you think there is that, there are a lot of bloodlines these days in relationships?
I feel like so many people are very scared of definition because it brings about a certain point of sense of accountability and responsibility. And most people, saizi, that's what, okay, I wouldn't say saizi, but some people, that's something they're actively trying to run away from.
Right.
They want to have the benefits, the perks, everything that comes along with having or being in situations where nothing is defined. And so it takes away the accountability, because nikifanya kitu naweza kwambia mbona unaniuliza wewe si chali yangu, mbona unajali juu ya kitu nimepost, that's none of your business. But like Shata said, I feel like these are relationships in themselves, because still you have to remember to be a friend. If you're involved in someone with anyway, whether intimacy is involved or not, I feel like if you have a situation whereby you guys just even talk to each other, there's a certain friendship, na kuna vitu basic na vitu standards zenye lazima zikue.
Right.
And hizo ni vitu ka communication, respect, honesty, hizo ni vitu basic sana that I keep saying you owe any other human being just for them existing, especially if you want to relate with them in any way, whether it be your brother, your sister, your friend. So I think hiyo ndo inafanya wase waogope, the fact that there comes responsibility and accountability, because at some point you have to be able to communicate and say some things, because I wouldn't expect if you're my friend, unapotea for 1 year and you don't talk to me and then you pop up again. And it would be nice to know where you are, if you're okay, if you're safe, if you're fine, if everything is moving on okay with you. So I'd say that people are scared of the accountability, right. But they admit, and even if they don't want to admit, they know that they need the validation, they need the love, they need the hugs, they need the constant, uko sawa, umekula. It feels good. It's a nice high. Umefanya nini job leo? It's a nice high, kuwa cared for like that. But since hatu pull up our socks when it comes to things like communication, so it looks like difficult when we start bringing in things like definitions of you're my boyfriend, I'm your girlfriend, but basically they're doing the same things in these situationships that they're in. So
there, you mentioned it, yeah, umekula. And remember Professor Hamo said there's a difference between umekula and umekula. When you get home and your wife asks you, there's a difference when your partner asks you, kuna umekula is genuine concern. Have you eaten? If you look like you're not eating and you say umekula, nilikuwa na Shata, kuna rice na mboga, rudi kwa hiyo Shata, we'll serve you for today and tomorrow. But not here. This is a safe space. Shaz, in the same breath, everybody's saying that there is fear. Shata said there is fear of the unknown and fear of commitment. But what about for those who there is fear of the known, in terms of you've been in, I don't know if it's the right word, but you've been in a place where you've been heartbroken and now you're just afraid that because I know that this thing could hurt me, or I have seen the red flags, but I have pressure from society, and I know that if I end up with this, jamani mbaya, lakini let me just do it. Or udem ni mbaya, but anyway, kupata dem siku hizi ni ngumu, let me just go with it. So what about if you know that this is heading to the pits, but you still don't want to define it?
That is so interesting, because I think an element a lot of people miss out is it's not only just how you grow up.
Right.
And I never like to say trauma because I think the word is so overused. But I feel it's also like your attachment style from when you're really, really young. And you'll see a lot of conflict in relationships is between anxious and avoidant attachment styles. And that's because if you're somebody that's anxious right now, you grew up really fearing abandonment very quick. And if you're avoidant, you grew up really fearing rejection. And so when you look at the 4 attachment styles, you know, secure really tends sometimes to look for secure, but they're the person in a relationship. I know who I am. I know what I'm looking for. I know what I can give a relationship. I really grew up with parents that had a beautiful vision of a relationship. I saw how it worked. I saw when they had conflict, how they sorted it out. And so secure can end up with, you know, fearful, avoidant, or anxious. But very often you tend to see it's anxious and avoidant which play these patterns, because anxious is normally the person that's very vocal, they throw the tantrum, they're pretty much the hailstorm. When things go wrong, they come down on you, they're screaming, they need your attention in whatever kind of a relationship you're in. Avoidant is always the kind of person that's like a turtle. They go into a shell, they don't want to deal with conflict, they grew up feeling extremely superior, very independent, but they really, really, really crave a lot of love, and they're very scared of rejection. Now what happens in these kind of relationships that people don't tend to realize is, who am I attracting and what kind of an attachment style do I have? Because if you have one of them, the aim is to reach secure. So if you're an anxious person and you attract the avoidant, the dance you normally have is what you see, which means as an anxious person, I will chase the avoidant. Avoidant feels suffocated and needs their space. When they're getting their space and they pull away, anxious starts to feel, you're abandoning me, you don't love me. So now I'm going to pull away because I'm exhausted. I can't do this anymore. Avoidant feels, wait a minute. You are rejecting me, that's hurting me, so I'm going to come after you and give you all the love you need for the next week and a half. Anxious feels full, and they're like, oh my God, this can sustain me for the next month. Avoidant goes and withdraws. Anxious is so full, they don't notice that you've withdrawn. So now they're feeling you're not abandoning. This pattern plays out so often.
So it becomes like a cycle.
And it's a full cycle. And it's because nobody knows. Nobody stops to think, what am I looking for? What does a secure relationship look like? How do I head there? How can I work towards that? Why do I keep attracting an avoidant if I'm anxious? And if I'm anxious, why do I keep, if I'm avoidant, why do I keep attracting the anxious lover in my life? So, you know, when you see this dance in these relationships, it's interesting because it first starts with actually learning, if I'm with somebody, I mean, after 3 months or 4 months, you know, it shouldn't be a situationship. Either we know we're dating or we're not. And it's not that I'm asking you to marry me and I'm asking you for lifetime commitment, but after 3 to 4 months, I'd love to know, is this going somewhere or not? Because I don't want to waste my time either. And the biggest thing I really tell women, truly, is hold off on going all the way out on intimacy. Because you are not going to know if he's really there with you for the right reasons or not. Because men just need a place and time. And women, the minute they intimately bond with you, and that oxytocin is released, I'm telling you, she's going to feel attached. And she's already preparing the wedding of her dreams. And this guy has no idea. He's just woken up the next day and he's thinking, oh, wait, well, isn't that normal? Right?
Another bright new day for Manchester to win.
No. Pretty much so, yes.
Yeah. All right. So it's interesting that you mentioned that, because CJ, the other thing is that I think the pressure also comes when people, the stages, you know, and it's kind of like been ingrained in us, you know, just the way before 844's whatever was, the last one was yesterday, didn't you? All right, so anyway, with the 844 system before CBC, it was go to school, graduate, get in a relationship, get a job, get married. So I think, is it that people are also afraid to define because their destination is always marriage? Like, you can't just be in a limbo of, okay, we are in a relationship. Somehow pressure is going to come to put a ring on it.
So there are various factors. And even when they're afraid that the destination is marriage, generally women dream of marriage. They want to settle in a relationship. Women love definitions. They want to know where are we going, who are we, where are we at, because that gives a sense of security. What Shaz is talking about, when the woman comes and gives herself to you, she then wants to commit and attach because she's seeing something that is being built up. That's why when a woman has given herself to a man and he walks away, she feels very jilted because she had settled. So they love definitions. On the other hand, men don't love those elements of definition.
Unless it's on TV. High def.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
because
Okay.
that then brings, it brings the element that Roberta was talking about of accountability.
Right.
Generally, we love low standards or no standards at all. That's why we don't want the definitions, because when there is a definition, you're going to be held to a certain standard. You've got to perform at a certain level. You've got to attain something. You've got to live according to certain principles or rules or ideals. So if I feel I cannot match up to those ideals, I will want to redefine whatever there is by creating no definition so that I get away with anything that I do. If I call or text you, it's fine. If I don't text you, it's fine. It's because of not even setting standards for ourselves. So society, we blame it a lot, but it's not the biggest problem, Willis. The biggest problem is, what standards do we set for ourselves as individuals? How do we hold ourselves to account? If I cannot do the things that I have promised myself to do, how can I do the things I've promised somebody else? How am I going to be there for the next person when I don't know how to be there for myself? If I can tell myself this is the high road, how am I going to do that for somebody else? So the fear then comes in. You know, I'm tying up everything everybody said. Right. The fear then comes in. Like, if I commit into this, I'm not so sure I will meet the standards Shaz wants. So because I'm afraid that I may not, that becomes my unknown, I begin to fear commitment to it. The other side of it is that, you see, you talk about how we move in various stages. When people are in school, everything is definite. This is the time you come to school. These are the number of years you spend in school. These are the rules in school. When they get out of school, they want to break every rule. So when you bring them out of a structured thing for 16 years, and you want to put them in a structured thing again, they may fear that. They feel that freedom means no rules. But the truth is, there's no space in life where there's no rules at all. So I feel that the day we begin to hold ourselves to account, the day we begin to set certain standards, the day we begin to tell ourselves, I need to be better than this, it won't be difficult then to have the same thing in a relationship with somebody else.
All right, no space where there are no rules. All right, so I want to remind you guys, or rather not remind you, but tell you what we're asking today. So you can send in some SMSs. If you can have the question of the day is, what do you think is the reason for undefined relationship? What do you think is the reason for undefined relationships? Mbona watu wanaishi tu hapa kiholela? Freedom, free fall. Messenger from Joyce. She says, nice to see you all again, Salimiana. What up, what up? My Tuesdays, I look forward to daybreak. Shut up, my 7 points, Kabisa. The only gray matter should be the one in your brain. Sometimes we blur the lines by ourselves. Sometimes we are afraid of the reality that he's just not that into you. There are times you don't even wait to be defined to. There are signs you can just see and understand. They say if he is for you, you will know. If you're confused, then he's not for you. Let us not blur the lines ourselves. My Angelo said love can be a lot of things except unsure. Yeah, so shut up, boy.
Yeah, man.
Nikuuliza aje. So most of this easy vitu wanalemea feed the boy child.
Yes.
Because anasema, okay, no, well, CJ pia amesema maboys tunapenda kuishi tu maisha ki shamba la wanyama. You know, like in the forest, like we're just in the wild.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is so? Is there a specific societal drive to it? Is it just our makeup?
No.
Is it the situation as it is?
An unpopular opinion.
As is your norm.
As usual.
I think empowerment has to do with it. A lot of it. You see, from both genders, like women empowerment, male empowerment, if there's anything like that. You see, with empowerment comes freedom, you see, and relationships curtail your freedoms. Like we spoke here the other day, and we said a lot of your freedoms that you call freedoms, you will have to sacrifice to be in such a relationship, you see. So say if I am dating a girl in this new generation and she wants to live her life the way I didn't see my mom living with my dad, you see, because she's empowered, she can do that, and as I end out na madem, unaelewa? Yet I am not okay with it. You see, I will not stop her from living her life. What I will do is I will not commit to a relationship. I am benefiting from her, I am getting things from her, I am happy with her, but if I say you're my girlfriend, I will not be okay with you doing these things. But if I don't say you're my girlfriend, I'll be okay. You see? Then, na pia yeye pande yake, hatakuwa na feel kuji-explain to me. Atakuwa, when we are together, we are okay. But when I am doing my things, I am not your girlfriend. When I'm doing my things, I'm not your boyfriend. So you will not question me. Unaelewa? Because we are both empowered. I need pesa yangu afanye hizo vitu. Na mimi si need pesa yake nifanye hizo vitu. Unaelewa? So, hiyo ni part kubwa sana watu wanafaa ku-understand. That's why I was saying we need to redefine a relationship that looks like that. It needs a name. Unaget juu sio an isolated incidents. Ziko mingi sana. Like you ask, do a survey. Ask 10 of your friends, are you in a relationship? Watu unajua hawajaoa, usikie atakwambia nini. Asiko kwa relationship lakini kuna mtu. Unaona?
Well, it's gonna put a point of order to shatter.
Okay. Point of order.
I'm just asking clarification.
Yes.
You may have your money, I have my money. So you go out because she goes out because she wants to go. Does that change the elements of things like jealousy? Because there are people who are also, you know, when they are attached, they become possessive, they become jealous. And so even though it is not a defined relationship,
I still care, man.
they keep on checking. You know? There are guys who come around that club, you'll find you with your girlfriends, and they will have done rounds like 5 times. They're like, I was just checking up on you. They feel what they feel.
Yeah.
You see, let me give you an analogy of the ostrich. See, you're told if you chase an ostrich, it will go hide his head. And believe if it's not seeing you, then you're not seeing it. You see, it is basically what we are doing in relationships nowadays. That if you're not my girlfriend, it's okay. I know I am jealous, but just go. We are living in denial. That's it. Because that which we know as relationships cannot be achieved in this generation. Hiyo ndio ukweli. I'm telling you.
Si kweli.
I was waiting for that.
Let me tell you guys. Kuna relationships za kitambo zile zilikuwa defined, like you know this is what happens. This relationship leads to marriage. Right now, nobody is talking about marriage in this generation that we are living in. Look, angalia tu. This generation Z, nobody is talking about marriage. We are dating to date, not to marry. Unaelewa? And a solution needs to come from it. From this side, it's dating to marry. You see? But there's a generation that is not thinking about marriage. There's a relationship. More life.
Even we can,
I told you it's an unpopular opinion.
I actually, no, but why I believe with her that it's not true is I meet a lot of people who still want marriage.
Yes.
They may be
a lot that don't
frustrated.
want. In
I
fact,
think
they are
it's just maybe
traumatized.
we hang out in
different circles.
environments. Like we hang out in different environments.
Where do you meet your people who don't want? So that
Everywhere.
But you know,
Anywhere I walk,
when you
I think
think
I
about
attract
it,
them. I am
be
the
very-
avoidant.
It's not even about the environments you hang in, because
It's
even
the
after
environment
this,
here and here.
see, even after this, there will be DMs, and even from here, I still get a lot of questions about people who either want to get married, people who are in marriage, people who want to fix their marriages. I think it's just that thing of not being sure that they can hack it and acting like they really don't care, but deep inside,
They know they want.
really something. It's really something. And I will say this, maybe Shaz will back me up, especially for ladies, Willis.
Yes.
They can act like they really don't care about it, but most ladies would want to settle down. They'll get to a certain place, you see them avoiding weddings of friends, because they really, it's not that they're jealous, but they can't handle the fact that their friend has been taken and they are not. You know, they'll be all over the lovey-dovey stories because they wish that to be their reality. Deep inside, if people start having this
Honest
proper conversations, yeah.
So then, is it that, I guess then, basically, to use the analogy, kuna watu wengi wako
tunataka
but they are just hiding.
Yes, ndio nimekuambia.
And I think different people also go to different people. Like I'd say if someone maybe wanted to talk about marriage,
Right.
they'd probably hit up Shaz or CJ. If someone wanted to talk about something else, they'd probably hit me, not marriage or kids or family or maybe they wouldn't also hit Shatta up, you know. So I think it's different strokes for different folks. Like different people want different things, but hiyo need ya kutaka mtu na kutaka kupendwa na kutaka hiyo high, hiyo feeling ya kupendwa, it's in everybody. Everybody ultimately wants.
Nah, I wish I could come across it.
Kuna point mnafaa kujua that kuna watu wanaoana na waishi kwa nyumba moja.
Yeah.
Like people, I met Roberta akiishi kwake na mimi naishi kwangu, then we decide to get married, but kila mtu anaishi kwake. Kuna marriages na hivyo sahi. It is happening in this society we are living in, that we are not living in the same house, but we are saying we are married. And you know a very popular person doing that.
Yes.
But also, isn't it because you're experiencing marriage while dating? Before you date and you looked forward to marriage because there were certain boundaries in the dating. But now the generations have changed. It's so open. The West has, you know, changed our vision. Now you move in, you live, you have babies before even
knowing each other,
getting married, you know. So it is truly blurred lines. And why are you doing that? You're doing it because you're still looking for love. Otherwise, you just simply be on your own. And that's the truth.
Nobody wants to be on their own.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Their own.
But
It's not an easy, it's a tall order.
Imagine being alone. Exactly, but imagine being alone as opposed to being in a relationship where you're not really getting fulfilled in what you truly want.
How do you get that balance? Because, like Roberta said, there is that need in
Good
everybody.
question.
So how do you be alone and then still have the need?
So I would say that's such a powerful question because look, you either have an imprint on imprint on imprint that you will go and take into a relationship that you're currently in. That imprint is either it came from a healthy way or it's come down from a negative, toxic way. I was heartbroken. I gave so much in the first, second, third relationship. Now, I don't know. Do I open up that much with you? And the thing is, people, the true question is, what is dating? What should I look for when I'm dating somebody? How long should I date somebody? What is a healthy dating situation versus I'm just hooking up with somebody every single night and I'm wondering why they don't love me during the day. They do not call me. They do not give me any attention. When, you know, dealing with the culture, it's interesting because everyone ends up with, I want them to love me. It's never, I want to love them purely too.
Yeah.
It's a situation where I want. So now I'm just looking for what I can get out there. I don't want to be lonely. I'll settle in a relationship. I want to be with someone that can just fill me up. I'll settle with someone that can half fill me up. I want to be with someone that can help me raise this child because I don't want to do it alone. I'll settle with someone who I think will love the child. I am struggling financially. Hey, here is someone that has cash and I can settle with. That's why I say it's like and then you move in with them. Then you have their babies before you even married. So at some point, it's like, if I've experienced life with you and it's not at a level where I'm forced to commitment, where it's thick or thin, then I have a chance to walk away because we didn't choose to commit. But it's the fear of commitment, and that's the truth. It's actually the fear of what I can give. Because I tell people, you are truly unconditional until you're not. You're unconditional in the beginning of any relationship, and the minute they stop giving you love, meeting your expectations, or doing anything for you that you feel they should, you withdraw love as a punishment, and then you are punishing yourself. Because I tell people, if I come and I give Shatta all the love in the world, and I say, I'm dating you, I know I'm 24, I'm looking for a long-term relationship, I'm hoping this could go somewhere, let's see where it does. But I'm going to give you everything, all over. I mean, the risk is there's no certainty. But if you break my heart, I don't lose a part of me because I was fully unconditional, and I walk away winning because I know I loved you with everything. And you just taught me you're not the person that's there for how much I can give. TD Jake says something that I just love. If you bring it into the context of relationships, there's some people that are pint size, and there's some people that are 20-gallon people. In relationships, we are 20-gallon people and we settle for pint-sized people. And they will give you everything that they can, but it's in a pint size. But dating is supposed to be, now I know this is who Shatta is. He's an amazing guy, but he has things to work on. I know maybe I'm looking for something a little more. So maybe now I'm dating Willis, and that's the point of it. It's not that I'm sleeping with Shatta, I'm sleeping with Willis, I'm sleeping with CJ, because that's the situation right now. It should be, I'm learning. I'm talking to different people to see what I'm looking for, so that I don't blur the lines.
Yeah.
Well,
it has to be for you.
I've found another topic for another day in that conversation.
Can I add to what Shah said?
All right.
With the question you asked.
Yes, how do
because
you
it's something I
balance?
do actively every day. I had to start being honest with myself. You know, I had gone through so much pain and disappointment. Then I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. Nobody deserves my time. But what that does is that it stops me from being myself. Because my true authentic self is Roberta that loves to love, Roberta that loves to give and loves to be in situations where I feel appreciated. So when I build the walls and I cut all this off, I'm making myself suffer because I'm doing it for them. I'm making decisions at their account. But when I decide for myself that I'm Roberta and I love being single, I enjoy it so much. But it would be nice if I had someone.
It would be great.
It would be amazing. It would be amazing. And I had to be very honest with myself. And it allowed me to let people in. It allowed me to talk to people. So now when I'm dating, it's not to eliminate people, is to learn. It's to get to know what do I want, what do I like, what do I enjoy more, what do I know more about myself from these situations. And being honest with myself has helped me reduce the loneliness, because now it's not like I'm shutting everyone out. Now I'm able to say, hey, leo nasikia niko lonely, you know, now I'm able to be honest with myself.
Yeah.
Other than Kitambo, it was always, I'm fine, I'm okay, I don't need anyone, I don't want to talk to anyone. No, it's good for me to get checked up on, for me to get texted, for me to get the attention. So yes, that's how I do to balance. Nakuwa too honest with myself. Na nakubali, this is how I feel and this is what I'm going through in this moment.
You don't have to date for marriage, yo.
Yeah.
This is a formula that we found existing, that was set up by people like we, and we can set up a new formula for us. That's it.
God.
You can date and not date for marriage. You see, because the moment you start dating for marriage is when you start having deadlines for this dating. You see, you put an expiry date to everything.
Like
This
by
is
30
life.
you should be married.
Yes, you
Let's
see.
get this underway.
So you by 30 you should get married. You waste your 5 years with Willis. Now you're 28. You meet Shatta and you want to marry Shatta in 2 years because now Willis wasted your 5 years. Now Shatta is paying for those 5 years that Willis wasted.
Shatta is on a crash
No,
course
I'm on a
program.
crash course now.
Oh my God.
I'm being rushed into a relationship now. I need to get married to this lady because aliharibiwa miaka 5 na mtu mwingine na yeye deadline yake ya kuolewa ni 30. So mimi niko na hiyo pressure, nishaanza kumintroduce kwetu, sijamjua. Tushaoana after 1 year tumeachana. Why? Because I was rushed because of someone else doing. Unaelewa? That is a formula that we found here. And I believe as opinion shapers we can come up with a new formula for our lives. Unaelewa? Right now marriages are not working with this generation we're living in.
Not
Marriages,
say some.
Some. Okay. Marriages, majority. Because watu wanaoana leo kesho wanaachana. Watu wanaoana leo kesho wanaachana. Zamani mimi mama yangu akiolewa na baba yangu hakukuwa na kitu ya kuachana. It was till death do us part. But right now, that statement at tulikuwa tunasema inafaa kutolewa kwa vows. Sawa, because now is something else. Dunia imebadilika. Kama una date mtu, wewe una feel mimi naweza ishi na mtoi wangu na umse kama tushi kwa nyumba moja. Wewe ni mdemu mmoja, by the way, me I'll not move in with you. Let's just get married. I will continue living in this house, you will live in your house. Inakubamba hivyo, it is fine. Nobody should judge you for wanting to have a different setup. Unaget? Because that setup that you found here was made by people. You can also decide to start yours. That's what I keep saying. Question the norm. Do not conform. If it does not fit you and it fits Willis, that is a Willis problem, not your problem. Unaona, kama wewe yako inakubamba, mimi inanibamba nikichukua tu in a relationship, hata tupate mtoi, tuendelee tu kusapotiana mimi na wewe na mtoi tunamuonesha mapenzi, but tuko kwa nyumba moja. Kama hivyo inatubamba, tuishi hivyo. Sio pressure za watu, asimuingie kwa nyumba moja, mbona mnalipa rent 2? Sasa tuingie kwa nyumba moja tuanze kukosana. Maybe mimi first of all, me personally, kuna venye tu vitu zangu zikipangwa, ukipangua tutakosana. If my toothbrush is like this and I find it like this.
You guys have to hang out to Shatta to realize Shatta is a neat
borderline.
Oh my God. But it's a good thing.
Kama nilipanga nguo hivi, nikipata zimepangwa hivi, nitaanza kufeel mikono zina shake. Nataka kuzipanga tena, alafu tuanze vurugu na wewe, utaanza kufikiria is because I am saying you don't know. You see, I find umeweka vitu hivi nataka kuzipangua juu nimezizoea hivi, utaanza kusema Shatta anafikiria sijui kufanya vitu. To avoid all that, just live your life and I live mine. When we meet, we hang out, tunajibamba. Adios muchachos. Kesho.
Willis,
Rocio.
You know, when I listen to Shatta, sometimes the idea of everybody can create their own is impractical. Absolutely. 7 billion people on the face of the earth. Life is a series of patterns, and every pattern has some principles around it. Even in uniqueness, there's going to be a sense of patterns. Nobody's going to be absolutely unique. For example, Shatta is wearing jeans today. He's not the creator of jeans. He found jeans here.
That's true.
He just preferred something that he has found. There's no way we're going to create things that are absolutely, totally different from patterns that have been there before. But, go ahead.
The creator of jeans. Alipata jeans, si ali create.
All of these things, Shatta, you will find that something is a build-up on something. It's a build-up from something.
Yes.
There are foundations that it comes from. Even now you're talking about, relationships are different, but they are built from something that has been there before. It is mostly innovation and an improvement of something that there has been before. It's nearly, it's very difficult to find something that is totally cut off from whatever has been, especially when you're talking about human behavior. If you say, I'm just going to be the way I want, what about the person you are with? What do they want? You say you want to be, for example, in your house. I love setting up my stuff. What about the other person? They may say yes, but they nearly feel bullied into saying that because they don't want to lose you. Sometimes it's not just what we don't get. Sometimes it's also what the other person does not get. They may come in because they have a child with me and fit into that arrangement that I prefer. And maybe at that particular point, they feel they're benefiting from me. But that may not be their ideal. There are a lot of people also who just put up with us without them being in the ideal situation. Either because we've got stronger personalities, we are very dominating. So I'll come in and I'll say, you know what, I want it different. I'll give an example. When I was getting married, those days, I thought of doing something totally different. I didn't even want my wife to put on a white garment, the gown. I was thinking very differently. Then I realized she really wanted to put it on. In my mind, I wanted to do, those days people were still not doing what they're doing currently. Those days everybody would wear the white gown, and I thought I wanted to come with this revolutionary idea, we're not going to wear all this kind of stuff. I realized it mattered to her. So sometimes there's what you want, you're this kind of a person, like Shatta, you will be thinking differently. I am too, but what about the other person? So eventually, for any relationship to work, two people have got to make compromises, no matter what it is. There's no way two people will come together and everybody has what they want. We will still have to compromise at some point and agree that, well, this is who you are, this is who I am, how do we work it out? The element of, for example, somebody has dated Willis for 5 years, Willis has wasted their time, they're coming in for the 2 years. I think that is the importance of what Shazmin talked about, of the dating. Like, get to know this person then. If they're heartbroken, if they've gone through a lot of things, would I want to commit to them while they're still in pain, while they're still resentful? While they're still caught up in Willis, would I want to do that? When I get in, I should never say she pressured me because I'm an adult. I can make decisions. I can actually walk away. I can say, I'm not ready for this at this particular point. So if you really, really, really feel you want to settle down with somebody, I'm not ready yet. And I can walk away and not say she pushed me with her timelines and now this is not working.
And now that's another 2 years gone. And now she's 30. And now there's pressure. That's why I'm saying here, easy deadline tunajiekea kwa maisha ndio pressure. Because now, when someone thinks they need marriage to be complete, that is where the problem begins. You don't need to be married to be complete. You are complete as an individual. That is the only way you will be with me, when you are complete. But when you're thinking you need this for you to be complete, that is where the problem begins, because you start looking for it. And now logic just goes off the roof and off the window, and there's no logic anymore. Is I am incomplete, I need to be completed. Unaelewa? That is number one. Number two, I'm coming to you. Number two, before I forget what CJ said. Number two, kitu CJ amesema hapa sahi about
Okay. So this is what I want to say. When it comes to, you don't need marriage to be complete, but you also don't need the wrong relationship to be broken. And right now, there are more broken people than they are complete, whole people. And I challenge any relationship, and I do not believe that I will be complete, and then I'll find someone that's complete, so we will be fully whole. I think every single relationship will challenge different voids inside of you to keep growing. First of all, anybody out there right now that's feeling, I dated somebody for 5 years and it was a waste of time, it's not. The pain makes you think it was a waste of time. You have learned, you have grown, they're an X for a reason, and there's so many experiences and lessons you will take from that will tell you, do I go in this trajectory or do I go in this one? Am I looking for somebody? Am I not? The problem with this culture right now, people don't know how to pause and wait. The minute you break up with somebody, you have to rush into something else because I'm too scared to deal with the pain. I'm too scared to be alone. Loneliness is this disease that could leave me crippled. And that's what we plague in our minds. And so you rather settle for someone that's taking you nowhere
than be alone.
And it's not that marriage will make you complete. Marriage is going to break you before it makes you. And I tell everyone premarital that. I said, you are dating, you are so in love, you are so cozy. Give your marriage 5 to 7 years and don't give up on it in the next 5 to 7 years. Because in 5 to 7 years, you're going to feel like this person is not for me. But they are. They are just pulling things out of you and they're showing you what you need to grow on and how you need to grow.
Yeah, and I think if you're in the right relationship, whether it is a friendship or relationship, like a love relationship, when your partners, it definitely does that. It kind of pulls, and I like to use the analogy, since everybody's using, I'm not going to use the ostrich. Sandpaper. You know how, like, when you have sandpaper, if you touch it, it's very rough. And then if you put it on the surface, it looks like unaumuza your surface, but after, it's such a nice, smooth kind of finish. Yeah. But it feels very rough.
But what happens to the sandpaper?
No.
What happens to the sandpaper?
Sandpaper is sasa.
Is it useful after that?
No.
We
exactly.
Are walking,
so you're losing your meaning.
No. You're not losing.
Defining someone else.
Let me tell you. You're not losing your meaning. I tell you why. Because
experience.
Yes. Now the sandpaper is the experience. Okay. So that we are on the same page.
Just because it looks.
Just because me sandpaper nitaisha. Si sandpaper itaisha, but mimi nimeitumia.
This analogy
Mimi
sandpaper
nitakuwa
was
sawa na hii kitu itakuwa sawa, but sandpaper itakuwa imeisha.
So this, yes, this is
That's
one
what
thing,
we are
Shatta. Relationships, I feel, leave so many wounds in us.
Right.
And when you have open wounds, even from a previous relationship, take a feather. A feather touching a wound will make you jump and leave you startled. And that's how we walk. We walk with so many wounds from previous relationships that are not healed.
Damn,
and
yes.
different people have feathers touching you.
Also, what we talked about last week, real
Oh,
quick.
something.
Also, get to know yourself sana, vizuri sana, ndo uweze kujijua na kuwa honest with yourself so that you set standards and boundaries for yourself so that you know exactly what you can settle for and what you can't. Because what this does is it helps you make decisions and it helps you kukwa able to communicate, kukwambia huyo mse kama in your situation, you're able to say, Cheki, me, I just want to have fun. I want to date for fun. I don't want to feel like kuna hiyo deadline or something I'm being pushed towards. Because, like you said, there's so many types of dating situations in the dating scene and they don't have definitions zote, but what wako situations are. So, in these situations that you're in, please remember that's still a relationship. Please remember that you have to remember to stay a friend and you have to communicate and you have to be honest. So ambia mse wako, whether mnaishi pamoja ama muishi pamoja ama ni situationship, just tell them how you feel. Tell them, I like you. We've started talking. I like you. I want to see how this goes. In 6 months, if we're not feeling it, okay. If I feel it, you can be my girlfriend. If nini, just communicate what you feel without your fear. Ama unajiekea, alafu mse mwingine hajui. Sa inakuwa what are we, who are we, alafu hakuna definition.
Ukijijua, ukijijua, hiyo kitu CJ alisema haitafanyika. Unaona hiyo part tulisema mtu anaweza kubali kenye nimemwambia mimi nataka tuishi hivi, akubali because maybe they are getting something from me. Kama anajijua hata kubali. Unaona hata kubali kuishi na mimi.
So this is
just because
scenario mko two whole people.
Yes, two whole people and I am telling them let's be married but let's not be in the same house. And they are not okay with it.
Yeah.
They will be able to say no.
So you reach a compromise.
Even the good book says do not walk with an unbeliever.
Come on now.
All right? So we say hallelujah.
Hallelujah. So your Bible verse, you may realize.
Shatta, by the way, has a diploma in theology.
Oh, wow.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
So don't yoke with someone that does not believe in your philosophy. If this person does not believe in your philosophy, don't yoke with them. Because you're setting up yourself for hurting and failure and misery. Just be comfortable with someone that is comfortable with you. Even if you're compromising to get to a philosophy that both of you believe in. You're not marrying into their philosophy alone. You get that both of you have this idea.
Yeah.
And now you're working towards that idea as you are the two of you. You're not just marrying into this person's idea. Alafu ishi hapo, then you lose yourself and now you become a shadow. Or you just pushing this person to achieve their philosophy, and you're the sandpaper in all this.
You see, that's what Shaz talked about when she talked about the element of dating. And I'm just thinking about, from a football analogy, you face every match you go into, you go in fresh. You lose today to this team, you're not carrying that pain into the next. You still have to study your next opponent. And you've got to have specific tactics for that opponent. Because even if it is the same team you're playing twice, different dynamics at the same time. When you are meeting people, if you are heartbroken by Roberta, because Shazmin can break heart. Shazmin and heartbreak are not in the same sentence.
Not what same WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
If you were heartbroken by Roberta and you meet Shazmin, don't carry Roberta here. That was an experience. It was painful, whatever. But as you come here, give yourself the opportunity to start afresh. You are dealing with a new person. You are learning a new person. Do you learn from the past mistakes? Yes, you know what you need to tighten, but you're coming to play a totally different match with a different opponent, different dynamics. So don't try to replay that match right over here.
Can I add you another? You see, you're fighting relegation, and you know you lost that match, and you must win this match.
Yeah.
And now you're using every dirty tactic to win this match. You see, because you're fighting relegation. Now fighting relegation is those...
It's the 5 years.
Is the 5 years. Okay? Kuna shida.
All right, let's take a look at some feedback before we wrap up. We have Fellow Muya. Fellow Muya says this. Fellow Muya one says, the problem if you act like you don't care so you don't get hurt, the person you're seeing might think you don't want to define things at all. You can slowly push the relationship forward in small, casual ways, like suggesting you see each other one extra night a week. You chose night, it's all right. Okay, fellow, I saw
it.
Wang Eugene said, the reason for undefined relationships is fear of commitment and responsibilities. It's like you all are John the Baptist in each other's lives, preparing the way for the Messiah, draining each other's energy and time, but there's no commitment. Wow. Nick Akamo says, bloodlines are triggered by inability to differentiate fantasy from reality. There is a way due to dopamine production. Our brains get used to the rewards of feeling euphoric, the kind of addiction and leading to dependence. All right. Dr. Goa Moja. Dating sometimes can be a challenge to some extent. Economical crisis can make guys to hide relationship statuses or to hide mubaba ama mumama. Apache TJ says the current generation fear defines relationship because of commitments. They prefer maisha ni yangu, weshughulika na yako, hatupangwingwi. Right, those are some of your comments there. Definitely.
No, moja hapo imenikumbusha. There's some tweet I saw. Some guy said that he ya prepare for the Messiah. Ati anytime he dates someone, au mademu enda majuu. So ameacha kudate. So akidate msee kiasi anaisha majuu. So for now he's not dating anymore.
In high school, now that I'm out of high school, I can say it because in my school you are not supposed to. Yeah, but every girl I tried to katia, I want about transfer. I took it from the good Lord that I need to kind of wait. Stop. It happened like 3 times in Form 1 and Form 2, Form 3, Form 4.
It could actually have been that you were the transfer agent.
Rio Minaola.
Anyway, thank you so much for all your comments and feedback, and let the conversation continue. We do hope that out of this you'll try to, I guess the best way is to, if you haven't, take some time to know yourself more. And if you're already there, a child or 2 later, then now it just starts, I guess it's about conversation. You people need to talk about what you want to do, where you want to go. Even if you got into the marriage and when I feel, man, nukudialala, talk about it and find a solution, bearing in mind all the circumstances around there. At the end of the day, discuss where you are, let your partner know where you are. Also, that means you need to know where you are, both good, bad, and ugly, and then you can kind of meet in the middle. Yeah? All right, then. Have yourselves a lovely day. Today is Tuesday, right? So that means Ghana, Nigeria, and who else is playing? Senegal, Egypt are playing today for the World Cup qualifiers. You can check out who wins on later on in the sports. And then you can catch our podcast, Shatta and I and Shix Kapienga, Midweek Madness. We'll talk about those games tomorrow. Check it out on my YouTube channel. You can follow Shatta Boy Shatta Tiki Taka on the Twitters, Shatta_Buai on Instagram. And also Wax Tiki Taka with AnQT, Palevo Radio Citizen, 10 to 1 p.m. every weekday. Roberta Bobby, follow her on all social media platforms as well. Go to www.loveandorgasms.com. Follow the podcast, listen to it as well. You will learn a lot. Shazmin Bank. Also follow her on her YouTube channel and her social media handles, and always go for feedback. When is the event?
This Saturday. Yes. And I'm telling you, you want to not be in blurred lines. You want to be at this Saturday.
Where is it going to be? How can they get tickets?
You can get tickets on ticketsasa.com. Tickets are from $2,500 for a full day with lunch. But we are talking about gender-based violence, sexual harassment, abuse, mental health, relationships 360, and not only talking about them. I'm going to leave you with tools with how you walk away from trauma to thriving.
Where's it going to be?
Loresho, Jane Boven, Loresho. Beautiful auditorium, guys. And I got the amazing, some nice surprises for you.
All right.
Yeah, so you will love it. You have to come.
Tutamwokalize. All right. CJ Atemo as well. Follow him on all social media platforms. I have read 2 of CJ's books, so I always keep saying, hey, do they DM you? You need to read CJ's books, and they'll change your life, honestly. And also follow him on all social media platforms if you want to ask him any questions. Akona years of experience in the bag, so haongei tu kiholela. So make sure you follow him as well. And yes, for some reason you can't find them, you can always reach out to me and I'll hook you up with them. All of them who are seated over here. So successful people look like you.